Hola a todos. Today we are going to learn how to write the argumentative essay at Cape level. And as you know, this is going to be the last section of the paper 2, reading and writing. So the same rules apply when it comes to writing an argumentative essay in Spanish, but of course it's in a different language. So you still need to know how to write, how to organize it, how to express your ideas, etc. All right, so we're going to do that today. As you know, you'll be given 5 options and you will choose one, right? So I'll review the structure and what should be included within each section. And then we are going to look at examples of 2 essays, one from Unit 1 and one from Unit 2. So structure-wise, when it comes to structure, we need to have 5 paragraphs. One for our introduction, 3 for our body, and these 3 will represent the 3 arguments, and 1 for a conclusion, okay? Now let's look at what should be included within each part. In the introduction, which is going to be the first paragraph, we start with a hook. Now a hook is just anything that is used to grab the reader's attention. It can be any one of the following. It can be a rhetorical question, it could be some statistics or a statistic, and it could be a strong statement. Now, a rhetorical question is just going to be a question that is posed with the intention of making a point, as opposed to searching for an answer, okay? For example, who really knows where we came from? No, let me change that. Who knows if God exists, right? So that in whatever context we are talking about, we are discussing religion or whatever the context is, that question could be a rhetorical question because it may not be posed in order to get a response. It may be posed just to get people to think. And that's what rhetorical questions do, right? Statistics are always very persuasive, yes, and a strong statement. I could also include a quote. If there's a quote that is relevant to this topic, I can include that as a hook, right? So this is our first line of the essay, and we need to start on good footing, right? Background information. So once we've written our hook, we proceed to background information. So these are details that help the reader to understand the relevance of the topic. So they can include any of the following: general views on the topic, any event, incident that is related to the topic, right? So they need to understand why this is an issue, okay? So these are 2 pieces of information that can be included in your background information, right? And then the thesis statement is going to be your position on the particular line of argument or on the topic. And you should use 3 arguments, or you should write 3 arguments, right? And your thesis should be argumentative. So when I say argumentative, you should use modal verbs like should, but in Spanish that would be, deber or tener que or necesitar. Any of those verbs you should use to indicate that this is an argumentative thesis, okay? It's ideal that you stick to one side. Yeah, I would recommend that you choose one side, right? Yes. And I also would recommend that you keep the essay in the third person point of view. Some may you want to use the first person, but I prefer the third person, right? Just to keep everything consistent. When you use the first person, you tend not to be consistent. You tend to use the first and the third. But just keeping it in the third means that the essay will be consistent throughout, okay? So I prefer the third person. So when it comes to the body, we have a topic sentence. This is where we state our argument that we would have mentioned in the thesis statement. And You must mention them in the same order that you would have stated them in the thesis statement. So the first body paragraph is going to go like this. So you have your topic sentence, which should be your argument that you presented, and then you have supporting evidence, right? So these are details that will substantiate the claim or validate the claim. They can be any one of the following. So examples, analogies, and an analogy is where you compare one situation to another in order to explain or clarify, right? You already know about rhetorical questions and, of course, research, right? So these are going to be details that will substantiate the claim. You can't just present an argument and not use details to back it up, right? For lack of a better term, back it up. Just to keep it simple, back it up or defend it, right? Now, I wouldn't need to write this 3 times because this will be the same for all the paragraphs in the body. So just remember that you state the argument and then you give supporting details. And that will be the same for all paragraphs, all 3 paragraphs. Now, when it comes to the conclusion, we state our thesis in a different order and in different words. We can give a summary statement, and this is going to be the central message from all 3 arguments presented. Yes, they're going to be different, but there's always one element or one way that you can, or one message that emerges from all 3 of the arguments, even though they may be different, right? And then we have our concluding remark. This is going to be the very last line of our essay, and it can be any one of the following. It can be a recommendation or a suggestion, a prediction, or a call to action. And the call to action is just where we encourage persons to take action, right? Now, we're going to look at 2 examples now. Of course, we'll start with Unit 1. So on the exam, these are going to be the instructions. Write an essay in Spanish using 300 to 350 words on one of the following topics. Before we get into that, I should also mention that you will find a PDF containing transition words. So these are words that help you to connect your ideas better, and it helps to improve the flow of your essay. In Spanish, they are called las palabras conectoras, okay? So you'll find that PDF in the description, right? So Unit 1, I would have chosen the topic of education. Para sobrevivir en el mundo moderno, es importante que los jóvenes obtengan una educación universitaria. Comenta. So, of course, I have to give my views on this topic. And this was taken from May-June 2015, paper 2. All right. And as you see, I started with a title, and that's a very good practice because I want you guys to be elite. I want you guys to be the best of the best. So it would be nice to include a topic. And the topic, a title, I mean. And the title is not included in your word count, so don't worry about it. And as you see, I would have phrased it as a question, right? You can phrase it as a question, or you can just write a general topic, right? So, se necesita una educación universitaria para tener éxito. So what we'll do is we'll read it, and then afterwards, we will analyze it, right? So, yes. Nadie puede decir que una educación sea inútil, pero ¿hasta qué punto es necesaria? En el mundo moderno, muchas personas creen que todavía es necesaria para que los jóvenes tengan éxito, mientras que los oponentes piensan que ya no es necesaria debido al crecimiento del Internet. Es verdad que será necesaria para algunos campos, tales como la medicina y el derecho. Sin embargo, los jóvenes no necesitan conseguir una educación universitaria porque el trabajo manual es lucrativo el Internet ha impulsado el espíritu empresarial y pueden ganarse la vida realizando cualquier actividad mientras destaquen en ese campo. That's my introduction. En primer lugar, se puede ganar mucho dinero realizando trabajo manual. No todo el mundo destaca en las materias académicas, así que algunas personas no son capaces de conseguir una educación universitaria. Los obreros como carpinteros o mecánicos cobran tarifas muy elevadas por sus servicios porque se necesita habilidad para realizar su trabajo. Cabe destacar que los obreros siempre serán importantes porque los aparatos que se usan diariamente requieren mantenimiento constante. En segundo lugar, el Internet ha creado muchas oportunidades para que los jóvenes se ganen la vida como empresarios. Muchas empresas globales contratan a las personas influyentes para promocionar sus productos o servicios. Si una persona tiene muchos seguidores en las redes sociales, va a recibir muchas ofertas. Puesto que la mayoría de las personas que usan las redes sociales son adolescentes, pueden aprovecharlas para ganar dinero. En tercer lugar, pueden ganar mucho dinero en cualquier campo con tal de que sobresalgan en ese campo. Es decir, si tienen una pasión por lo que hacen, hay la posibilidad de que ganen mucho dinero. Las personas famosas tales como Lionel Messi y Rihanna son ejemplos de lo que se puede conseguir a través del trabajo duro. Son ricos porque están entre los mejores en sus campos. Para concluir, una educación universitaria no es necesaria porque los jóvenes pueden ganarse la vida siendo empresarios y obreros, y querer es poder. Está claro que se puede tener éxito sin una educación universitaria. Entonces, lo importante es que los jóvenes tengan una buena actitud. Okay, so 348 words, which means the essay was perfect in terms of, because it fell within the word limit, right? So yes, good. Now let's analyze it. As you see, se necesita una educación universitaria para tener éxito. That would be my title. Is an university education needed to be successful? So, nadie puede decir que una educación sea inútil, pero ¿hasta qué punto es necesaria? No one can say that a university, an education is useless, but to what extent is it necessary? So that would have been my hook. I use a strong statement as well as a rhetorical question. En el mundo moderno, muchas personas creen que todavía es necesaria para que los jóvenes tengan éxito, mientras que los oponentes piensan que ya no es necesaria debido al crecimiento del Internet. In the modern world, many persons still believe that it is necessary, or believe that it's still necessary for young persons to be successful, while the opponents think that it is no longer necessary due to the growth of the Internet. Es verdad que será necesaria para algunos campos tales como la medicina y el derecho. It is true that it will be necessary for some fields such as medicine and law. So from en el mundo moderno to el derecho, that would be my background information. I would have included details that would help the reader to understand why this is a debate, or why this is controversial. Sin embargo, now I introduce my thesis. Sin embargo, los jóvenes no necesitan conseguir una educación universitaria porque el trabajo manual es lucrativo el Internet ha impulsado el espíritu empresarial y pueden ganarse la vida realizando cualquier actividad mientras destaquen en ese campo. So that would be my thesis statement, okay? However, young people do not need to obtain a university education because manual work is lucrative. The internet has boosted entrepreneurship, and they can earn a living performing any activity as long as they excel in that field. Okay? Second paragraph. En primer lugar, see, I've used my transition words. Se puede ganar mucho dinero realizando trabajo manual. So, firstly, a lot of money can be earned performing manual labor or, manual work. No todo el mundo destaca en las materias académicas, así que algunas personas no son capaces de conseguir una educación universitaria. Not everyone excels in academic subjects, so some persons are not capable of obtaining a university degree. Los obreros como carpinteros o mecánicos cobran tarifas muy elevadas por sus servicios porque se necesita habilidad para realizar su trabajo. You could say blue collar workers like carpenters or mechanics charge very high rates for their services because skill is needed to perform their job. Cabe destacar que los obreros siempre serán importantes porque los aparatos que se usan diariamente requieren mantenimiento constante. It is worth noting that blue-collar workers will always be important because the devices that are used daily require constant maintenance, and that's a fact. Es verdad. Okay, second point. En segundo lugar, el Internet ha creado muchas oportunidades para que los jóvenes se ganen la vida como empresarios. Secondly, the Internet has created many opportunities for young people to earn a living as entrepreneurs. Muchas empresas globales contratan a las personas influyentes para promocionar sus productos o servicios. So many global businesses or companies employ influential persons to promote their services, to promote their products or services. Si una persona tiene muchos seguidores en las redes sociales, va a recibir muchas ofertas. If a person has many followers on social media, he or she will receive many offers. Puesto que la mayoría de las personas que usan las redes sociales son adolescentes, pueden aprovecharlas para ganar dinero. Given that the majority of persons that use social media are teenagers or adolescents, they can use them to make money or earn money. En tercer lugar, pueden ganar mucho dinero en cualquier campo con tal de que sobresalgan en ese campo. Thirdly, they can earn a lot of money in any field as long as they excel in that particular field, yes. Es decir, si tienen una pasión por lo que hacen, hay la posibilidad de que ganen mucho dinero. That is to say, if they have a passion for what they do, there's a possibility that they earn a lot of money. Las personas famosas tales como Lionel Messi y Rihanna son ejemplos de lo que se puede conseguir a través del trabajo duro. Famous persons such as Lionel Messi and Rihanna are examples of what can be achieved through hard work. Son ricos porque están entre los mejores en sus campos. They are rich because they are among the best in their fields. Para concluir, una educación universitaria no es necesaria porque los jóvenes pueden ganarse la vida siendo empresarios y obreros, y querer es poder. To conclude, a university education is not necessary because young people can earn a living being entrepreneurs and blue-collar workers, and where there's a will, there's a way. Querer es poder. That's a very good expression, idiomatic expression. Está claro que se puede tener éxito sin una educación universitaria. It is clear that one can achieve success, or one can be successful without a university education. Entonces, lo importante es que los jóvenes tengan una buena actitud. So, what is important is that young people have a good attitude. So you see, in all of this, in this essay, you would have seen the different components that I would have broken down to you at the start, like the thesis, the hook, the background information, etc. All right. So this would be the example for Unit 1. So let's move over to Unit 2. And I would have chosen the impact of ICTs on social life. And the line of argument, la red causa más daños que beneficios a la sociedad. ¿Estás de acuerdo? This was taken from May-June 2014, paper 2. Now, this time I chose to construct my title as a general topic. Los beneficios de la red. Based on that title, it's obvious that I disagree with this statement. All right, but let's see. Una pistola no es algo negativo a menos que se use para matar a alguien. Se pueden realizar muchas tareas en la red, así que es poderosa. Sería injusto decir que la red trajo más daños que beneficios a la sociedad. Ha traído más beneficios porque facilita la comunicación entre las personas, es una herramienta útil para el marketing y es una buena fuente de información. En primer lugar, la red elimina las fronteras para que la comunicación entre las personas sea mucho más fácil. Por ejemplo, una persona en España puede mantenerse en contacto con sus familiares en Cuba por las redes sociales tales como Instagram, WhatsApp y Facebook. De hecho, se pueden realizar videollamadas en muchas de esas redes sociales. Entonces, se puede mantener la intimidad. En segundo lugar, la red se puede utilizar para promocionar una empresa. Todo el mundo usa la red diariamente, incluso para realizar compras en línea. Significa que si una empresa tiene un sitio web o redes sociales, puede atraer a más clientes con facilidad. Por eso, la red facilita el marketing. En tercer lugar, se puede conseguir información a través de la red. Si alguien necesita investigar un tema, puede usar la red para conseguir esa información. Puesto que el proceso será mucho más rápido, será ideal cuando se necesite información enseguida. Por ejemplo, si un niño sufre una convulsión, su madre puede buscar información en la red para saber qué debe hacer. En definitiva, la red es una gran fuente de información. Asegura que la comunicación se mantenga entre las familiares y amigos y ayuda a promocionar las empresas. La vida sería más difícil si la red no existiera. Es la razón por la que los beneficios siempre serán más importantes que las desventajas. Por lo tanto, es primordial que la gente use la red apropiadamente. okay? 304 words. So let's analyze los beneficios de la red. Benefits of the internet. So that will be my title, my hook. Una pistola no es algo negativo a menos que se use para matar a alguien. So a gun is not something negative unless it is used to kill someone. Very interesting hook. Very interesting hook. Se pueden realizar muchas tareas en la red, así que es poderosa. Okay, so we go to our background information. Many tasks can be performed on the internet, so it is powerful. Sería injusto decir que la red trajo más daños que beneficios a la sociedad. It would be unfair to say that the internet brought more harm than benefits to society. Ha traído más beneficios, so we get into our thesis, ha traído más beneficios porque facilita la comunicación entre las personas, es una herramienta útil para el marketing y es una buena fuente de información. It has brought more benefits because it facilitates communication among persons. It is a useful device or useful tool for marketing, and it is a good source of information. My first point, en primer lugar, la red elimina las fronteras para que la comunicación entre las personas sea mucho más fácil. Firstly, the internet eliminates borders so that communication among persons is a lot easier. Por ejemplo, una persona en España puede mantenerse en contacto con sus familiares en Cuba por las redes sociales, tales como Instagram, WhatsApp y Facebook. For example, a person in Spain can stay in touch or keep in touch with their family members or relatives in Cuba through social media like Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. De hecho, se pueden realizar videollamadas en muchas de esas redes sociales. In fact, video calls can be performed on many of these social media. Many of these social media you could say, yeah, social media platforms. Social media platforms, yeah. Entonces, se puede mantener la intimidad. So, intimacy can be maintained. En segundo lugar, la red se puede utilizar para promocionar una empresa. Secondly, the internet can be used to promote a business. Todo el mundo usa la red diariamente, incluso para realizar compras en línea. Secondly, the internet can be used to promote a business. Wait, no, I said that already. My bad. Everyone uses the internet daily, even to make online purchases, right? Significa que si una persona tiene un sitio web, una empresa tiene un sitio web o redes sociales, puede atraer a más clientes con facilidad. It means that if a business has a website or social media, it can attract more customers easily, right? Por eso la red facilita el marketing. Therefore, the internet facilitates marketing. Okay, third point. En tercer lugar, se puede conseguir información a través de la red. Thirdly, information can be obtained through the internet. Si alguien necesita investigar un tema, puede usar la red para conseguir esa información. If someone needs to investigate a topic, they can, or he or she can use the internet to obtain that information. Puesto que el proceso será mucho más rápido, será ideal cuando se necesite información enseguida. Given that the process will be much quicker or much faster, it will be ideal when information is needed right away. Por ejemplo, Si un niño sufre una convulsión, su madre puede buscar información en la red para saber qué debe hacer. For example, if a child suffers a seizure, his mother can search for information on the internet to know what she should do. En definitiva, la red es una gran fuente de información, asegura que la comunicación se mantenga entre familiares y amigos y ayuda a promocionar las empresas. So in conclusion, the internet is a great source of information. It ensures that communication is maintained among family and friends, and it helps to promote information, it helps to promote businesses. La vida sería más difícil si la red no existiera. Life would be more difficult if the internet did not exist. Es la razón por la que los beneficios siempre serán más importantes que las desventajas. It's the reason why the benefits will always outweigh the disadvantages. Por lo tanto, es primordial que la gente use la red apropiadamente. Therefore, it is crucial that people use the internet appropriately. And there you have it. 2 essays written by yours truly. All right. So this brings us to the end of this lesson. I hope that it was helpful. Gracias por ver y nos vemos.